these Trading Topic Tuesdays, we just dive into a trading topic. It could range from anything from strategies to trading psychology to management. And we're kicking off a new mini series. Yeah, Reed? Mini series?
Yep.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Psychology, trading
3-part
psychology.
series.
3-part series. And so, yes, this may be um, some topics. This is for the members, but if you've already been trading, you will probably see these as reminders. But it's always good to be reminded, right? And we hope that it's going to be of value to you. So let me go start and share my screen. Let me see if you can see this. So the topic for today is trading resiliency. Resiliency, having that in the market. What is that? Resilient, the definition. We like to use definitions of these words that we're going to be talking about. So the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions, aka mental toughness, right? So like this tree you see, it just totally kaput, maki die dead, fall on its side, but came back, man, bounce back. And we see it across the board in like celebrities, athletes especially, right? They'll be out for seasons, and then because they suffer injury, then they come back stronger and just kill it, right? Tiger Woods, right? So um, that's what comes to mind when it comes to being resilient, um, and that's what separates, right? Separates the greats from the average, the mediocre, because being put into these, like you'll see it now, I mean, even in the workplace or with friends or family, they go through tough scenarios or situations, and you can see which ones are seasoned and which ones mentally just break. Yeah. So trading psychology, becoming resilient, we got the freaking rise of the phoenix, bruh. That's such a good graphic there. So key questions for our members, can you be resilient? Can you be a successful trader without resiliency? Where does it play a role in your trading, right? So going back to as your people are learning, trying these things, trial and error, you're gonna get beat in the face. The market will turn you upside down and whip you, make you humble, right? And that is that mental toughness that you gotta develop over time, because there's never a time where we can think we're gonna approach the market and we're gonna be 100% right every time because I got all the PhDs in the world, I have all the Nobel Prize winners, um, and so that's where that part comes in. We're gonna face lots of difficult environments, decisions, stress environments. And resiliency leads to unwavering confidence in your trading, right? So you want to add anything to that, Read, so far?
Oh, you're good, man. You're on a roll. I love it. I agree. I mean, I'll answer your question is, can you be a successful trader without resiliency? Absolutely not. I know I've started off trading with a lot of friends, and zero of them are with me, So I mean, not talking bad about them, but they just didn't have the market resiliency. They're great humans, great people, but as far as the market, they couldn't handle the losses. They wanted to get out. I've literally heard them say making money in the market is impossible. People sell courses when they can't succeed. So, that's a fallacy. Of course, we know that as traders, like who actually are pretty decent at it. We know it's possible. So it's just they lack the resiliency, right? And these guys are from the military background, so they know what mental toughness is. But
Right.
again, when it comes specifically to market trading, it's different because you're fighting yourself. And then, where does it play a role in your trading? You continue on, keep doing it, and you learn. That's where resiliency come. But I know we're gonna get more into it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
man, back at you.
Yeah, I like that. That's so interesting how these guys can go through military training and the environment and be good at over there. But when it comes to the market, man, they just crumble.
You
It's
know,
very
I think
interesting.
it's more because it's physical. It climbed that mountain with your heavy backpack. Okay, I could do it. I just got to overcome the physical barriers, which is my legs and the mountain.
Mm.
That's it. And you keep pushing yourself physically. Whereas trading, there is no threat here. We're sitting down. The only threat's in our mind, our psyche. And that's the hardest part. You have a tough military guy sit in a quiet room all alone without technology. They start to lose they just can't handle it. So it's kind of like trading. You gotta find that zen, that zone.
Yeah, that is interesting, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, cool. That's resiliency, mental toughness. Um, Great points right here that just highlight what characteristic that we've seen, not just us. This isn't like fully, we're not saying like this is the only way, but we've seen throughout studying great traders, we've seen that, okay, they all have some sort of the same characteristic, right? Great traders don't play victim. They don't do the whole woe is me. The market don't care about your feelings, right? Instead of me asking what happened, can you expand on that, Reed?
Yeah. So you're asking, instead of like, why did it happen? And like, why did I enter this trade? You ask yourself, what happened? What can be learned here? What can I adjust? Should I not enter that position during low volume? Along those lines, ask what happened.
Okay, I got you. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like separating yourself from like into a person view, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
watching you watch entering a trade and like really just going over what happens. Like how like athletes, they watch film, right? Or very competitive
Yep.
players, they'll retrack what they're doing. So embrace failure and examine the details of your loss and find something new to learn. Man, failing. That is, if if I got $1 for each time I failed, I'd be rich. I wouldn't need to be trading, man.
Yeah. What about failing in the market? Probably make way more.
No, no, you fail in the market, you won't have anything to play with, man. You be
You're right. You're
destroyed.
right.
You be destroyed. So that kind of that ties into, for me, what comes to mind is the journaling, right? Embracing the failures, facing your losses. When I was starting out in the whole trading, and when I would lose, I would do this thing where I would hide my losses and I would not confront them,
Oh, same here.
you know, because I couldn't set myself straight to look over my losses and face them head on, because that you need to have accountability there, right? To really truly acknowledge it. Yes, you can look at your statement, your daily statement or trading statement, and be like, okay, yeah, losses, just toss it to the side. But what happens there? You're ignoring it and you're creating a blind spot in a way, and that blind spot is gonna melt your capital mentally and your money, dude. So
Oh my God, gold.
so, and that happened exactly to me. My first year of trading, I went bust because I did what exactly what I was saying. I just ignored my statements. I could not bring myself to confront those losses, and that's where the growth comes from, begins, right? So, next point: focus on the process, not the P&L. The myth is, when you're a great trader, your P&L is to the moon, right? But that isn't always the case. So the process is so key. It's so key, and the process is confronting your losses, right?
Getting better every day.
Absolutely. Holocaust resiliency. Having that, oh, that goes deep, man. Find a reason for living and a meaning of being alive.
I could go off of this one.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, statistically proving they did like tests on all these Holocaust survivors. And when they interviewed them, they realized that there's a mindset behind the ones who survived. And they've had a mindset of resiliency. So they would ask them, when you were in that situation and you saw people dying all around you, your family, your loved ones, your children, how did you handle it? And they said that they found reasons for why it's important. And a lot of the reasons, at least the guy that was being interviewed for this specific topic, he said that his reason was to tell people about this and share about it. And he said every day he would replay the day in his mind and then speak it in his little cell. He would speak it out to no one. But that was the way he became resilient. Is like after the day was done or while he's going through the troubles and the trials, he'd be like, I'm going to share this with people. I'm going to talk about it. And that was his reason for living, and there's mothers who were there. They found a reason to take care of other children while they were there. They found other reasons to take care of other communities. So that's the type of Holocaust resiliency. And when it comes to trading, that's like dealing with all these losses, you could find a reason as to, okay, why do I continue trading if I'm dealing with so many losses? Well, it's, a lot of people, it's time freedom. A lot of people, it's financial freedom. It just depends on what your meaning is to trade. So that's kind of like how it ties into resiliency.
I love that. Finding that bigger meaning.
Yeah.
That's great, man. So in
And
trading,
that
you need
tied
to
it.
find
Yeah,
a
that tied into the
purpose.
last one.
The bigger picture, the bigger picture. Um, you know, we don't want to sound cliche and be like, yeah, you trade so you can go buy a Lambo next week and blah blah blah, go on these vacations, man. And you can just see that those traders who approach the market in that way, you won't see them 6 months, 1 year down the line. They're just gonna be like chasing the next thing that can get them rich. And that's a pattern I've
Yeah.
noticed personally with people I know. They'll just jump to things. So there was a shiny object syndrome, yeah? Jump to the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
thing.
that's what it's called. I was gonna say that. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
that though.
Shiny
May I add to
object.
that, guys? If
Oh,
that's okay.
add to this, please.
Regarding your purpose, um, as crazy as it may sound, I mean, we're dealing with money all the time in the market, and truly, if your purpose is just to make money, you're not going to go very far. You're going to have so many moments throughout this journey where it's going to beat you down, dude. And if your purpose is not that great, you're going to give up. You know, you got to keep asking yourself, why are you doing this? And you actually have to kind of put it to the side, write it down. So when the time comes, when it's like you feeling like crap, man, and you just getting a beat down from the market, like, you got to keep going. Learn from it. Personally, from my background, my parents were survivors of a Holocaust during the Cambodian, Pol Pot era. So my purpose is just that: seeing their pain, their hurt, being able to, survive the war and bring me to a place of freedom. It's like I can't fail now. I mean, if they've done all that, I don't have an excuse. You know, and you will always have to dig deep, that deep. It sounds kind of corny to some people. It is a very spiritual journey going on this path. It'll beat you down psychologically, mentally, everything, in every way.
Absolutely. It is a
So,
spiritual
so,
journey trading.
so if it's not that deep for you, I'm sorry to say, you're in for the wrong reason, and you're going to learn really quick. It doesn't matter how much money you make. The more money you make in the beginning, the worse it is for you, because it's just a loan the market just gave you, and then you're gonna take it back, right? Because you've yet to develop the skill set and the right mindset, right?
Yep. You hit the point on the head, man. Exactly.
Amazing, amazing. And that right there, John, like the way you can tell that you have a deeper drive than the average trader that comes across, that many people just come across. You're clear and precise on why you're doing this. And that is that thing that's gonna take you past all the losses, all the drawdowns, and all the stress or whatever. That's gonna take you there. So that applaud to you, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. Let me share you just one more story regarding that, because this is pretty big. You will kind of know where you stand and your purpose and how separated you are by your purpose tremendously. I was in a room full of traders. All right, this was like an IBD meetup. All right, and I was presenting some of my ways of how I trade, and just whatever market that we're stock we're talking about. And at the end, I said, look, guys, there's so much I want to learn. There's so much that I need to understand and do. I feel like I don't have much time. Okay, their time is of the essence, and they all laughed at me. Now, mind you, this is a room full of experienced traders. I mean, a lot of them are retired, they're older, and they're like, well, what do you mean, kids? You don't have much time. Well, what about us? One of those things. But then it's like, their purpose is different. Their drive is different. They're looking for the next stock pick. I'm looking to how to master my own system. How can I master myself? All right, things I'm looking to accomplish. I truly don't have much time. All right, because we're only here on Earth for just a very, very limited time, and people have the tendency to really just throw it all away in that manner. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. There's time. You don't have time, dude. All right, you don't have time. So,
absolutely,
going back to purpose, man, you got to have a very, very deep drive to sustain this market and and this business. Sorry about that. Absolutely. I have to tell that. So
no worries.
You're right. You're right.
That is key. So let me go back to my share screen, because time is of the essence, my friends. Having urgency, we gotta have it. So we'll go back. I wanted to share this awesome quote from one of the traders I look up to, Tom Basil. Eliminate any notion that profits equal good trading. Executing the plan over the long run will create the profits, not the efforts of a single trade or a single day's trading. That right there, man. That kind of just sums up this whole topic for today. Resiliency. Executing the plan over a long run. Right? And what does it take for you to keep on executing the plan even if you're in a 6-month, 5-year drawdown? The resiliency will help you carry through your purpose, your bigger picture. So this is some things you just help realign. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, just one last thing on like ways that how you can build resiliency. Just like really 5 key topics is, my man, there you go. My man.
I got you.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Sorry, my bad. I'll take it. All right.
Go for it.
So how do you build resiliency? Resiliency is it's a psyche word. It's easy to say, it sounds cool, but what does that really mean? And how do you go about building resiliency? And it can't be taught. It's something that you need to do for yourself. So we have 5 points here. It's first, to accept the reality. And in the markets, you need to accept your loss. You need to accept your win. You need to accept whatever trade just happened and move on. If it's a loss, you learn from your mistakes, which is point 2. So you learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes by journaling and looking back at your losses and seeing where you can improve, which is point 3. So you find those small, minor adjustments and you improve from there. And then as John covered, as we just covered, is you find your purpose. After dealing with consecutive losses, 20 in a row, sometimes that happens. And you already accepted the reality. Okay, I lost 20. All right. You learn from your mistakes. Okay, I think I learned from all 20 of my mistakes. Okay, I found areas where I can improve. But, I'm kind of giving up. What if my next trade is another loss? What if I really didn't learn from my mistakes? And so that's where that purpose comes in. That's where you need to find your purpose. You need to, it's really complete different from trading as far as psyche goes. You need to find the reason why you trade, and it needs to be more than money, because money is just the surface. You know, you need to dig deep into your psychology, dig deep into your past, and find out why are you in the markets if you don't have a purpose? Why do you trade? And it can't just be making money. And when all else fails, you look to your support groups, people who are familiar in the markets, people who trade, or AKA Hawaii Trading Academy. You know, we're here for you. We're here because we want to help you. We love seeing people succeed. Glenn and I love to see each other succeed. We love seeing people we know succeed. And that's what it's all about. And finding areas where we don't just fluff each other up. You know, Glenn straight up calls out at me and is like, why didn't you follow your plan? I'm like, shit, you know what? I didn't follow my plan because my plan says this and I did this. And so that's where, you know, we call each other out in a humble way, though. We're not like, you're so stupid. Why are you even trading? You know, like, we're so familiar with that in Hawaii, though. Like, if there's one or two mistakes, all of a sudden your friend group call you an idiot. And, you know, they call that tough love, but like hearing it over and over and over again with a certain group of mindset, you know, it begins to eat at your subconscious and your psychology. So you want to find like those same type of mindset, same group of people that love trading, have the same passion as you, and that'll keep you going and, you know, rekindle your purpose. So that's all I got. That's 5 really key aspects of building up resiliency. And what I find is, what Glenn and I both find is power to build resiliency. So yeah.
Can I add to that first bullet point that you had up earlier?
Accept reality. Yeah, go ahead,
let
man.
me pull it up.
Regarding accepting reality, the majority of the people coming into this, they have unrealistic reality.
Yep.
And the major one is not accepting losses as part of it, right? And with every single master trader, or every single one of you guys, we're on the path to mastering how to properly fail, right? But if you don't include that into your equation, you're going to have a very hard time. You must understand that being a part of this business, you're going to have losses. It's not a matter of not losing. It's a matter of mastering how to lose properly, how to lose small. That's key. Small relative to your system. Now, everybody's going to be different. You know, for a swing trading system like I do, it could be 3.5%, 2%. For a day trading, it could be 0.5%, 0.25. It just doesn't matter. I mean, it's always going to be, how do you lose small and trying to stay away from big losses.
Risk management.
Right? That's the reality. Yeah, risk management. But unrealistic expectations in that manner is really going to kill you. Right? That's all I got to say. Yeah. Thank you.
It's great, man. It's great. Like to riff off of you, John, the reality, you know, we were kind of covering that in the risk management in the previous Topic Tuesdays, creating a unrealistic vision of what your trading is supposed to be, right? You got to
positive expectancy.
Positive expectancy. That was the one.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to learn. Like, we can see the perfect setup, the perfect situation, environment, blah blah blah, all the fundamentals. The stars align. When the market does what the market does, it doesn't care, right? And so a lot of people can have a hard time accepting that fact, which is why I think I don't know if it's a statistic, but they always said the people who are worse at trading are going to be the doctors and lawyers, because they always need to be right.
Yeah. They can't accept. Yeah, people who fail or are bad at failing
ego.
are the ego. They can't accept being wrong. They don't want to. That's why, like, you know, in the beginning as traders, Glenn, you just mentioned you couldn't even look at your losses, right? You didn't want to. And me too. Same exact experiences. It took me like 2017. I did my journal. I had to go back. It took me like 2 years to actually go back and actually really dive into why I lost. And so, and like actually getting the data for the losses. And it's because I couldn't accept that I was wrong. You know, it is growth. It is journey. It's the journey of the trader to overcome that.
Yes.
I want to say too that, as a society in general, we are conditioned to believe that failures are horrible, especially in the educational system. You get graded A, B, C, D, F, you're a failure. Get out of here, right? As opposed to, hey, what did I learn from this? How can I improve upon this? And the market is a constant reminder of how can you improve upon your failures, utilizing those as stepping stones to success versus blocks of just scattered of failures. Now you feel really bad about yourself, the biggest scum on earth or whatever. And like, man, I suck at this, forget about it, right? But it always comes back to the right mindset and how to approach it. And that is it, learn from your mistakes. And I can guarantee you, for almost pretty much all of us has been in the market, the biggest lessons we've learned are typically from the largest losses or any of the largest failures in our life. Those are the best valuable lessons. But people tend to just, shut their eyes and cover their ears and face whatever and look away. And I don't want to look at this. I don't want to look at it. It's just it hurts too much. Yeah. Well, some of the biggest hurt in life in general, man, it comes from those, big failures.
The biggest learning experiences come from the biggest failures. Yeah.
That too. I mean, for me, even not necessarily just experiencing big losers, being able to conversate with people like you guys, that's one of the biggest lessons.
Oh, hell
you don't gotta go at this alone. So that is key. I mean, that was point number 5, finding people to surround yourself with, right? I wanted to add another point where point number 3, find where you can improve. Say you have 20 losses, right? Well, at the same time, it may not always be mistakes. It could just be your statistic of your certain trading approach. And that's where you're going to need the resiliency to stick it out in your system so that you have the confidence and knowing that, okay, I am one step closer to a winner, right? Having that somewhat faith, but utmost confidence to stick out to your system, because you know that, hey, there is an edge here. The market is not being conducive with it, which is why I'm losing in this period of time. So I think later, as people progress and get to that point where they can be aware or discover those things, what's going on, and really decipher, okay, it's not me just slipping up. It's okay, market current conditions. My strategy will not do good in this current condition. So it's not me screwing up my orders or taking impulsive trades. It's market conditions. So it's just a matter of identifying what the current situation is, and then going back to assessing, okay, is it my performance? Is it a market condition? Is it my edge? Is it my strategy? And those things will help everyone get through the rough seasons. Because I think that is almost as important. I don't know, like, I think that it has more of a positive than winning big. You know what I mean? Being able to truck through those rough seasons with carrying your mindset correctly and protecting your capital. Do you think that's more valuable than hitting some home runs?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very strong point right there.
So, yeah,
I think it has a lot to do with consistency. Building that consistency is much more important, and preserving not just your capital, but your psychological,
mental
well-being.
Capital.
Mental capital is just as important, which is overlooked, hence the topic. But every system has its time and place. It's not always going to work 100% of the time. You gotta know when to step in when it works and step on the brakes when it doesn't. You don't have to trade all the time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So I think that was some I think what that just sums up our topic of resiliency there. We've talked about how I didn't have the resiliency in the beginning because I could not face the facts. I could not accept the reality that I didn't know what I was doing as a trader. And then we took it to getting to building resiliency, surrounding yourself with the right people, and then we took it another step further, which is later in your trading journey that a lot of people will come through, which is identifying like, hey, is it just a bad season? Is the market condition just not working? Yeah. So that all, folks. We'll wrap up, and it goes back to consistency, and it goes back to your drive. Like you got to have that deep gut, that strong iron gut to make it through. Because if you do stick it out, you will break through that wall. Anything you want to add to that, Reed?
No, man. I mean, I love this topic because it dives in or it just scratches the surface of psychology. And I tell Glenn all the time, I think psychology, I love talking about it because I have to deal with so much of it myself, and it's amazing to look back to see the dumb mistakes you do and you learn from it. And then you see the fruits of your labor, as in reeling that ego in. And so it's an incredible journey. And I love talking about psychology because it's one of the most, in fact, I think it's the most important part of trading, in my opinion. There are 3 pillars that Glenn and I always talk about, and psychology will always be up there. So that's all I got to say. Like, find that purpose, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I like it. So that would kind of just wrap up part 1 of what we got lined up in the next 3 sessions, or 2 sessions following this, of our trading psychology mini series. Next week we're going to have the topic of having a winning attitude in the market. Now that's just another branch off to resiliency.
Resiliency, yeah.
Resiliency is the toughness. Like, okay, I'm surviving. Now I got to come in with a positive attitude, and because that's going to reflect on trading. If I have a crap attitude,
yep,
that's going to affect. So, man, look forward to that one next week.
Looking forward to it.
Good, man.
All right, guys.
I think that wraps it up for tonight, man. I appreciate your time, John. Thanks for jumping on.
We appreciate you guys. Awesome session. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, man. Thanks for sharing your insight.
I know.